Good morning, everybody, and welcome to today's webinar, Packaging and Pricing Your Services. I'd like to welcome you all here today and thank you for joining me. A little bit of webinar housekeeping for you. You will notice that your microphones are muted. This is for the comfort of the recording, but it is an interactive webinar. So if you have any questions, I'd like you to pop them into the chat feature for me. Now, this webinar is part of the Australian Small Business Digital Solutions Program and is brought to you across Queensland, Northern Territory and Western Australia by Business Station and Treaty Business Consulting. We've been part of the program now for 2.5 years and it is something that we really believe in. So for those of you who don't know me, my name is Kerrie and I'm the co-founder of Altitude Business Solutions and as I said, really enjoy being part of this program. I don't want to waste too much time today on introductions because I want to get straight into the content. We've got a lot to get through today. I'm going to be sharing lots of information with you. You will receive a copy of the recording. So take some notes, absolutely, but stay present and really listen to what I have to say about the process of packaging and pricing your services as well. So you're in the right place today if you are ready to clear up the confusion around packaging and pricing your services. I know as a small business owner, particularly if you are just starting out, this can be one of the hardest things. It's like, well, how do I put a price on my time or my services or my product that I have to offer? I'm going to be showing you multiple ways today. So what you will learn is we're going to be going through how offering packages will help increase your sales as opposed to just offering one service. We're going to be having a little chat about identifying your clients' needs, designing your packages, and then we're going to be talking about pricing your packages at the end. There's a few key mistakes that I see a lot of business owners make, and I want to just cover off those things and make sure that you guys are on the right track. So how will offering packages increase your sales? So packaging is one of the most effective ways to grow your business. So if you already have an established business where you have services and products that you sell, packaging them together can really increase your sales and also make the experience for the purchaser a much better one. As you know, if you're combining existing services and products to create new offerings at different price points, you're adding more choice for your clients to make it easier for them to buy. So what is a package? Well, a package is a collection of services that is offered at a different price point to give clients choice. So they work well for service-based businesses, but also for product-based businesses as well. So you may be, as a service-based business, offering a random selection of services or just one type of service, and you could kind of package it together and it be more beneficial for the purchaser and obviously increase your sales along the lines there as well. Now, there's a few different ways that you can package up your services, and some of the common examples are a tiered pricing kind of selection. And you may have seen this. You may have seen some people will say you can have the gold, silver or bronze package. So packaging up into tiered prices. So it offers different tiers of service at different price points. What I normally find with this kind of tiered pricing structure is that there's a couple of ways that people can package them up. So your gold package, which may be, or your platinum package, however you're going to call it, but your top of the range package may not necessarily be the most amount of products or services that are put together. It may be essentially the best value to the client. So it's sort of kind of a bit of a mind game. You're getting them to spend more money, but they're being given a lot more value. So don't always think of it in terms of, I want to add an additional service, but it may very well be that that particular service gets a value add. So they get something a little bit additional that the other two tiers can't get. So what you want in this kind of pricing structure is you want the, say, the silver package. If you're going for bronze, silver, gold, as the example is on the screen, you want the silver package to pretty much be the one that you want everybody to buy. So I kind of say, Here's what you get if you have the bronze package, and it's going to be very minimal. It's going to be one service, maybe with a little bit of something additional on top of that, what that service would normally be, but it's not going to offer much. Then I'm going to have my gold service. It's going to be over the top. So it's going to be at a price point that is much, much higher. And, you know, it's value, yes, if somebody wants to purchase that, that's great, but it's probably at a price point where people aren't going to purchase. It's the silver one. The one in the middle is the one that the majority of people are going to pick. Okay, so they're going to go, look what I get for that. Not only is it great value, but it's at a reasonable price that I can afford. So that's kind of the way I do that. Most people will go for the middle one. So make the middle one the one that you want everyone to take. So that is one way that you can do a tiered pricing structure. So that is the bronze, silver, and gold. We call that a tiered pricing structure. The next way you can do like a pricing structure is the pre-booked blocks. Okay, so this works really well for service-based businesses. So this is where, you know, you can have one service. Let's say I'll talk about my own business to make it easy. You can have one session with me for X amount of dollars, or you can buy a block of 10 sessions for X amount of dollars. So the way that I would do this is I would say you can have one session with me for $150 for the hour, or you can book 10 sessions for $440. And you can see there, if you do the math, you're like, oh, hang on a second, that's really bringing the prices of those hour sessions down. But it's encouraging people to book more sessions with me. So spend more money with me. So that is a way that you can do it. And that's an extreme. Going $150 down to the $44 is an absolute extreme. But you want people to go, well, I could have one session for $150, or I could put that towards the $444 package and get 10 sessions. Mm-hmm. So the pre-booked blocks is a really great way to be able to get some more clients in. The next one I'm speaking about is a little bit different. This is the task-focused packages. This is more tailored towards your client. It really offers solutions to specific tasks for them. To give you an example, would be like a social media package, social media management package. Okay, so there's package A, B, and C, and it is a task related. So package A, which might be the cheaper of all of the packages, may only include 3 posts a week. Package B may include 5 posts a week and some community sharing. And package C includes 5 posts a week, 5 stories a week, you know, community sharing and the whole lot. So that is where it's a task-focused package. So it's based on the number of tasks that you might be doing. So essentially the product is social media management. It is just one product, but it's the different tasks within those products. So you're getting more tasks done if you choose the top package there. So that is just some examples. The advantages, the benefits of packaging your services are really twofold. And this is what's great for a business owner. Can I tell you, the majority of business owners that I meet, one of the first things that they say to me is, I struggle with packaging and pricing my services because I don't want to rip people off. Essentially what you're saying is you want people to see value in the service that you offer. You want to make sure that every client that you deal with is walking away with the benefits, you know, a benefit of having been with you or having used your product or services. When it comes to packaging your services, the benefits are twofold. So the benefits to the client are that they get certain services done or certain tasks done at a very reasonable rate. So, you know, and it also blocks them in. If they're buying that, we spoke about the, you know, number of packages. If they were to book one session for 150 or 10 sessions for 440, 10 sessions with you in whatever it is that you are doing, whether it's massage or me for digital consulting, they're going to get so much more value out of those 10 sessions than what they ever would out of one. It's like someone coming and having one massage is great for that one day. But if they were to commit to having a massage once a week for the next 10 weeks, the advantages on their health of that is huge. So there's the advantage for the customer. It can save them a little bit of money. They can end up with a better service and they can go further. The benefit to you as the business owner is that you're getting someone to commit business to you for either a certain length of time or a certain amount of money. So if you think about the packages I was talking about earlier, $150 for one session or $440 for 10 sessions, if you were to book 10 440 sessions a week, you're talking about $4,500 worth of injection into your business. So that's a real benefit to have that money up front. Now, I understand you've still got to do the sessions and you've still got to do all of that. I understand that, but it takes the pressure off when you're not trying to find that income. So it can be much easier for you to deal with. And you sort of know, okay, so that's $44 a week for the next 10 weeks. You know, I just need to find 10 people who will do that. So it can make it much easier to run your business, and the benefits are for you and for the client. So it's a kind of feel-good thing as well. Now, here we go. I forgot I put this slide in here. So some advantages for your business are it clarifies your service offers. It saves time by customizing standard services. Can generate more revenue, which I just spoke about. It helps you to forecast income. That is just fantastic. When you know you've got a certain amount of income coming in for the next 3 months, it does make a difference. And it gives you the opportunity to help more people. So that is the benefits to your business. The advantages for your clients are that they have a wider choice of products or services. There's increased value there for them. It makes it easier for them to choose the right solution to their problem. So that's one thing I will mention that I haven't really spoken about is packaging up your services so they're a real solution to one of their problems. So we all know that your business only exists because of a problem that one of your clients has. So if you can package that up into a product that actually cures that problem for them, then they're more likely to buy the package. It can suit many budgets because you can have that tiered level and they will get better results. So in terms of whether it's a service, they'll get better results if they come and see you more often. In terms of a product, if they're buying multiple products, they're going to see better results if they either buy more of those products and use it more often, or if they buy it as a package. An example would be, say, skincare. If they were just to buy the cleanser, they're going to see great results. That's awesome. But if they would buy the cleanser, the toner, and the moisturizer as a package, they're going to see much better results. So the advantage for the client is that they will see better results. Guys, I just put this in here to remind you that while you notice that your microphones are muted, this is an interactive session. So we've got an hour to spend together, and I've done a lot of talking in the first 10 minutes. I said I've got a lot to get through today, but please, if you do have questions, pop them into the chat for me, because I will get those answered if I can. The next thing that I want to talk to you about is identifying your clients' needs. Now, you probably already have a variety of services that you offer, and when you package them up so that they're solution focused for your clients, you have a really good chance to demonstrate to potential clients that you have what they need. The easiest way to find out your clients' needs is to ask questions. I do apologize if you can hear a bit of, I just heard a siren go off. Do apologize if you hear a bit of noise this morning. I'm actually located right near the Logan River, halfway between Brisbane and the Gold Coast, and it's at its peak at the moment. So we've got a lot of helicopters and sirens and everything going off around us. So I do apologize for that. The easiest way to find out your client's needs is to ask questions. Questions are always the answer. So the questions that you could ask your clients are, what's your number one challenge at the moment? Is there anything that you need that I'm currently not offering? That's a great one. Do you buy X kind of services from anyone else? So do you buy these kinds of services from anybody else? What's the most important thing to you when you invest in a service? Obviously, a lot of customers have certain things that, are expected, but what's the most important thing? Is it reliability, speed, convenience, professionalism? It could very well be budget. It could be the most important thing. And how much money do you typically spend on that service? Now, if you're a business that already has customers, don't be afraid to send something out and ask the question. People do it all the time in terms of surveys. You know, you could say something along the lines of, I'm going to be offering you X if you take 5 minutes to fill out this survey and answer these questions, and it will get you some feedback as to what your actual customers are looking for from you. And don't be afraid to ask them when you have them in for a service as well. So if you're a service-based business and they come to see you, one of the really good questions is there anything that you need that I'm currently not offering? Sometimes you'll put them on the spot and they'll go, oh, I can't really think of anything right now. Yeah, that's okay. Look, if you think of anything that I could be offering you that I currently don't offer, would you let me know? It would really help me grow my business. I don't know anybody who would say no to that. So there's some really great questions that you can ask your customer to help get some information that will help you moving forward. Now, you've probably all heard of the 80-20 rule. It applies in a lot of different areas, but what I'm going to talk about is in terms of sales. So the 80-20 rule in terms of sales basically says that around about 80% of your business or your turnover will come from 20% of your clients. This is an unreal stat, isn't it? So we've all heard that whole, 80% of the work gets done by 20% of your employees when you've got some employees. But have you heard that around 80% of your income will come from around 20% of your customer? So that the rest of that 80% is really just trying to get those people in and trying to service them on a one-off basis, but you'll have your regulars. If you're a service-based business, you'll have your regulars. So there's no specific science about this. There's no anything to prove or disprove this whole theory, but many people use it as a rough rule of thumb to help them identify their most profitable clients, because that's very important from a customer service point of view. And what I want to talk about today is how knowing the data behind your 80-20 rule of your very own business can help with identifying what your clients' needs actually are, because they'll be showing you their needs through the products and services that they are actually purchasing. So I've got this little action button here for you now. So this is where I want you to actually do something. So I don't want you to do it now, but I want you to do it after this webinar. I want you to take action. I'm really big on taking action, particularly when it comes to these webinars. I have so many people that come to these webinars and walk away and go, that was great information. But if the ones that walk away and take action on what I'm saying will actually see better results. So what I want you guys to take action on after this webinar today is I want you to run some sort of report. Now, if you are using a bookkeeping solution, this may help you out there. If you're using a QuickBooks or a Xero, if you're using a CRM system, it may very well help you out. Or maybe you're not established enough yet and you are using an Excel spreadsheet. I don't care how you get the information, but I want you to have a look at your total sales for the last 12 months. It can be revolving, it can be the last financial year, whatever really tickles your fancy, I don't mind. I want you to run a report on the total sales by each customer if you can. You should be able to identify the customers that are spending the most amount of money with you. And then I want you to, once you've identified those people, I want you to look at the services that they are purchasing. And I want you to see if you can make up some packages, including those services. Because this is actual hard data, okay? This is your customers that are telling you through their purchases the services that they like to receive of yours. What's interesting of this is I do this once every 12 months in my business, and it actually identifies for me the services that I can drop. You know, we've had that service running now for 12 months. We've had very minimal sales out of it. Let's drop it off. In my eyes, less is more. So the less confusion there is for the customer, the more that they will purchase. That's always kind of how it works out for me. So I will print this report. I will have a look at my top customers. The other thing that you can do is it gives you an opportunity, you know, whether you do it at the end of the financial year or the end of the calendar year, I don't mind, is to be able to thank those customers that have spent more than the average customer. oh, wow, I really need to send something special to those top 3 because they've spent a lot with me in the last 12 months. So if you're a service-based business or a product-based business, it doesn't matter. As long as you have this data, you'll be able to make some decisions. So if you guys can take action on just that one step today to identify that, reward your customers and have a look at the packages that you could make up on those top sort of 3 or 5 products, then that's going to help you grow there as well. Now, what I find with this is when you actually identify your customers, it will really help you understand your clients. And when you understand your clients, that will help you create your packages. So it can be really helpful. There's normally 3 customers most businesses deal with. So I've put them into 3 categories here. They're either a starter, an intermediate, or advanced customer. So a starter customer is that they're just at the beginning of their journey with you, or they have very basic needs, okay? An intermediate customer is that they're already partially through their journey, but maybe they've gotten stuck on where they are and they're not sure where to go to. And the advanced customer is that they're very experienced in what they do, but they want to keep scaling and growing. The other way I would describe this starter, intermediate, and advanced customer, a starter customer is maybe someone that's come to you for the first time. Maybe they've had one session with you. Maybe they've booked one service. Maybe they've purchased one product off you. They're a starter customer. Okay, so maybe they've never bought from you again. They've just bought that one product. An intermediate customer is one that sporadically maybe comes back. They're not regular. They understand that your product is great and they want to continue to use it, but they're not a regular purchaser. Then we have the advanced customer. And the advanced customer is someone that understands exactly what it is that you offer. They value what it is that you offer and they don't feel like that they can live without it in their life. So they are regularly booking sessions and they are regularly purchasing your product. And you pretty much know that every 3 months, if it's a product-based business, every 3 months, that person is going to place an order pretty much religiously because they love the product and they want to keep using it. The interesting thing about this is where I find a lot of people or a lot of business owners fall down is that they don't guide their customer through the process of going from a starter customer to an advanced customer. So if I'm a starter customer and I buy a product off you and I don't receive an email or a phone call or anything from you again, I'm probably never going to purchase from you again. Because high on my list of priorities, remember we're talking about the list of important things of customers, and that might be a question. High on my list of priorities is customer service. And if I've purchased something from you and I've never heard from you again, that's not a customer service level that I'm interested in. I want to hear from you. When I have a service with you or I purchase a product from you, I want to receive that email or that phone call that says, hey, how did you enjoy the product? Were you happy with everything? That's going to push me into the intermediate customer. And then depending on your systems and processes, you can very easily push me into an advance. If you send me an email out that said, you know, once every 12 weeks, hey, it's been 12 weeks since your last purchase, we're offering you a 15% discount to purchase another package today, click here to get that, I'm probably going to fall for that because I find that that's customer service for me. You're making it easy for me and you're giving me a discount. It's 3 whammy. So as a business owner, you can guide your client or customer through this process because you want to have as many advanced customers as you can. You want as many people out there talking about using your products and services, all of that kind of stuff. So the more people you can get into the advanced stage, the better off it will be for your business. So it really is a guided process. Guys, here's my little question mark again. Don't forget, if you have any questions, please put them into the chat feature because I'd love to get them answered. I know I'm giving you a lot of information, particularly in this first half an hour of this session, but it's important that I get through everything. So I am kind of just soldiering on. The next thing I'm going to talk to you about is designing your packages. Now, as we get down the track there, we are going to come into some numbers, and I may lose some of you when it comes to numbers and talk about pricing your packages, but I just want to talk about designing your packages at the moment. So remember when we spoke about the 3 different types of packaging offers? There was the tiered pricing offer. So you could have the tiered pricing. That was the bronze, silver, gold method. There was the pre-booked blocks. That is where you go, I offer one service for 150, or I offer 10 of them for 450, whatever the pricing is. And then there is the task focused packages. Now, if you have, here's one thing that I know about all of your customers, this is true across any industry. I find that the majority of customers either have time or money. Okay, so they have a problem that you can solve. And they either have time to be able to spend on it, or they have money to be able to spend on it. So I just want to expand your way of thinking a little bit. So I have set up this kind of thing in my own business. I haven't got it down pat yet. I'm still working on it. But I call it the do-it-yourself, the done with you, and the done for you sort of platform. So the do-it-yourself is where I tell you what you need to do, but you go away and do it. Okay, so I'm not involved in the doing process of it. This is where I go, here's the information, a little bit like these webinars. Here's the information, you go along and do it, okay? Then I've got the done with you. So this is where I tell you what you need to do, and then I accompany you as you do it. So that very well may be in the form of multiple sessions that we spend together. So I can guide you through the process. Essentially, you're doing it yourself, but I'm also checking in to make sure you're doing it. So it's done with you. Then there is the completely done for you. So a really good example of this in my own business would be as a social media manager. So there's the do-it-yourself version, which for me is my webinars that I run like this. Come to one of my webinars, I'll tell you all about it. You can go away and do it yourself. There is the done with you service. So that is where I go, I'm going to sit down with you and we're going to draw up a strategy that is going to give you a complete plan for what you need to do with your social media. So as you can appreciate, the do-it-yourself version webinars, for me, they're free, but it would be a very low cost option. Then you've got your done with you, which involves my time, but I'm still not really going and doing the service for you. I'm creating a plan. I'm sitting with you, creating that plan. You've got a bit of my time, so a little bit more expensive. And then I've got the done for you option. So the done for you is where you go, I've got the money, I don't have the time, I just want you to do it the whole lot. And we do the whole lot. So this really follows along with what I was saying about customers either having time or money. If your customer has time, but they don't have a lot of money, they're going to go to the do-it-yourself. They're going to go, show me how to do it and I'll just do it myself. If they've got a little bit of money to spend, but they don't have a lot, they may go, you know what, I'd love to sit with you and do a strategy session and get a bit more clearer on what it is that I need to be doing. And then I'm going to go ahead and do it myself. Well, then I've got the people that just go, don't have time for it, take my money, do it all for me, okay? And you want a good mixture of these people, and the done for you clients, they're fantastic, but they're also very time consuming as well. So to have a good tier of those customers is really good. Now, to give you an example of that, this is options for do-it-yourself, done with you, and done for you. So this could very well be, you know, you've got an online live session, which is a strategy session. You get a workbook and plan. We teach you about organic strategy. So that could be 3 1-hour sessions for $440. And then I've got here, this is a $997, is a 2-month process. It's 8 1-hour weekly sessions. They will learn about social media. They'll be given Canva lessons. They'll talk about organic strategy. Or there's the complete done for you over 3-month period, completely done for you over 2 social media platforms, graphic design, organic, and paid. So you can see there, that's a really good example of one of our 3-tiered price structuring. This is actually an old pricing. So don't go to our website and go, oh, look, that's not what she's offering now, because it is completely different. But this is an example of that tiered structuring. Another example for you would be, I'm going to give the example of a massage here. So this is a service-based product, as a service-based industry as well. So you've got one massage is for $99. And please forgive me if there's any of you are massage consultants and are looking at that price and going, oh my God, I would charge, you know, $160 for one massage. I have no idea of pricing. I just wanted to give an example. So one massage is $99. That's really good for new clients or customers. You're just going to come in and try you once. Then you might have 5 massages for $450. So they're really great for those next level customers who are comfortable with your service and they want to save a little bit of money, but they don't really have a lot of money to commit. And then you've got those who are confident in your service. They are interested in booking in advance. And they're happy to outlay the big dollars to pay up front to have those 10 sessions. They'll pay their $800, book in their 10 sessions for the next 10 weeks because they know that they can't live without your massage. You know, if you think of examples, someone who maybe plays a lot of sport, one massage a week might not be enough. They might buy the 10 massage package so they can have 2 massages a week, for example. So that's sort of, but you'll notice as you look at that tiered pricing structure that's there, the $99 massage, which is the one massage, is the cheapest option, yes, but it's actually the most expensive option. Okay, they can get 10 massages for $800, which is $80 a massage, but if they're just getting one, they have to pay $99. So it's the most expensive option, but from a first timer coming to your site, it's very unusual if they go to your website, they're going to book in the $800 10 massages, give me those. They're going to want to try you out first. Most people will do the 1 or 2 massages, then you'll probably be able to convince them to do the 5. And then once they become a regular client, they'll be booking those 10 massage sessions in no time. So that's just another example. Going back to the social media, that was the 3 tiers that I talked you through there as well. So the 440, those new customers, good for people who are just starting out, the 550 and the 880. So you can see how that's kind of tiering it up in those different sessions. Is there any questions on that, guys? So this is where I normally have quite a few questions coming in. Does anybody have any questions that they would like to ask? Please pop them into the chat for me. Because yeah, if you have any specific things that you'd like me to talk about in terms of your business, and maybe some examples of what your business is and how you can package it up, please pop it into the chat and I'd love to sort of get some of these examples centered around you as well. So that leads into my last topic, and I've saved a good half an hour to talk about this topic because this is where people always trip up. And there's a couple of things that we make mistakes on as business owners. And I say we because I've made all of the mistakes. So that's why I'm here today, so that you don't have to make those mistakes. We're going to be getting into pricing and packaging your services. And as I said, so many small business owners struggle when it comes to pricing their packages, particularly, you know, around the services side of things, but even for their products sometimes. And if I'm honest with you, I still struggle with it on a regular basis. Sometimes I find myself charging for a service and then realize I've really undercharged my services there. The number one question I ask small business owners who are struggling to get business is, why do you think things aren't going right? So when somebody says, look, I'm really struggling to get anybody to book a session with me or anybody to buy my services, the number one question that I ask is, why do you think things aren't going right? Because you normally have an idea of why things aren't going right. Do you know what's interesting though, is that 99% of the time they will tell me that it's pricing related. You know, oh, I've got new competition that's opened up down the road, and they're heaps cheaper than me. You know, it was all going good until we raised our prices. And, you know, our customers clearly want cheap. But they don't. They actually want choice. And at the end of the day, they want good service. The thing is, if your customer or client is 100% satisfied with your service, they are happy to pay more for it. I can see that Sean's put something into the chat for me there. about trade services, your painters and decorators. This is a great example, Sean. Thank you for sharing with us. There is a massive difference between a good painter and a bad painter. I am a bad painter. I tried to save money once and paint my own wall. I don't think I'll ever do that again. I'll pay the money now. But if you have a service where you're going and painting somebody's house, as an example, I'm not sure what kind of painting you do, but I'm just going to say it's a house. You go and paint somebody's house and you do a really good job of that. I understand that maybe people paint their houses once every 10 years, right? So they're not probably going to use your services again for another 10 years. And this can be hard when you're a business that has that sort of longevity service. You've got to build up that clientele. But what you want them to do is you want them to talk about you. You want people to come to their house that, oh, wow, the painting looks amazing. And you go, oh my God, I use this amazing painter. Sean was fantastic. I have to give you his number. When people are really passionate about being 100% satisfied, either in terms of the service that they received or the job that was done. Sometimes it's a combination of two. It makes a huge difference. I know of people who have used a service, and we would all have had this, who have used a service and they haven't been 100% satisfied with the job, but the customer service has been so good, they've actually overlooked that. So if you make mistakes at a job, or if something is not done right, Sean, I'll go back to your example again. Let's say you spill the paint on the carpet. It's an absolute disaster, right? But if it is handled correctly, it doesn't have to be the end of that business. If it is all handled correctly, things are cleaned up, carpets are replaced, it's all done very quickly. Maybe you went above and beyond and came and moved all the furniture off the carpet so the carpet could be replaced easily and quickly, then they are going to forget that the paint was even spilt. In fact, they'll start to go, oh, they've spilt the paint. It was a little bit unfortunate, but wow, you should have seen what they did. They came and moved all my furniture and they had that all replaced and it was no drama. So that's taking a really bad situation and turning it around into a good one where they can't stop raving about you. What's interesting is that them telling that story to somebody else, the person will even forget that you spilt the paint on the carpet. And they might even call you and say, look, I'd love to get your services in because Jenny told me about you painting her house. I heard about the spill on the paint, but you guys handled it really well, So you can turn a situation around with your customer service. Absolutely. You can go from an unsatisfied to a very satisfied customer quickly. But the key is we will all pay more money to be satisfied. And sometimes it also comes down to better the devil you know than the devil you don't. People don't want to move on from somebody that they're satisfied with. Oh, look, they rose their prices. The prices went up again from last year. Good example of this would be a pest spray. You get your pest spray done every 12 months. And you have to put your prices up, the prices go up, the products go up. I get that. People will go, well, I'm not going to change because they put their prices up, because they always do a really good job. If they're 100% satisfied, they'll always pay that little bit extra money. So don't be afraid about rising your prices. Another example that I can give is a little story from one of my own previous businesses. I used to own a cafe. And I had a regular group of customers that came in every day between 9:30 and 11 a.m. They were pensioners. Their main problem was that they were lonely. Okay, they were retired. Most of them were living on their own. So coming and having a coffee at my cafe 5 days of the week, Monday to Friday. Normally they went there on a Saturday or Sunday. They needed that social interaction, but they were pensioners and they didn't have a lot of money to spend. And going back in time, going back to 2007, we were in the middle of GFC or going through the GFC. So a lot of these retirees had bombed out in terms of their super losing money, in terms of possibly the return that they were getting as an interest rate on their investments dropping very low. So all of a sudden they had a lot less money to live on. So 6 months after I purchased the cafe, I realized that the previous owner actually had the prices too low. When I looked at the wages that were involved and the stock that was involved, the prices were too low for us to make enough money. So I really had to put my prices up, and it was a really big price jump. It was kind of like a 15 to 20% increase on the current prices. And I knew that by doing that, there was a percentage of customers that I was going to lose, but the ones that were loyal would stay, and they would pay the little bit extra and make up for the ones that I lost. So one of this particular group came up to me and said, we understand that your prices have gone up, and we're really sad because this will be our last day here. We won't be coming back. So I spoke it through with them, and I said, tell me what the issues are. Like for me, I was like, it's only gone up 20%, on a $4 coffee, let's say that's 80 cents. I didn't think that was a big push, but I got to see it through their eyes once I had this discussion with them. And they said, the thing is we don't have a lot of money, and 80 cents 5 times a week turns into a lot of money, and we really need to find ways to conserve it. So I decided that I was going to offer them a package that would suit them. And I said to them, look, if one person buys a coffee and a cake and a piece of cake, then they would get a second coffee for free. So they used to just come in and really spend money on coffees, if I was honest with you. They didn't buy a lot of cake. So I said to them, look, if one person comes and buys a coffee and a piece of cake, I'll give you another coffee for free. So that will give you a coffee that maybe you can give to somebody that's struggling. Some of the group was struggling financially, some of the group wasn't. So come in, buy your coffee and cake. I'll give you another coffee for free. You can give that to somebody who's struggling that week, that month, that day. And did this make me more money? Not really. It probably lost me a little bit of money, but there were some advantages. Obviously, they decided to take that up. Now, what was the advantages of it? Well, for me, it made my cafe look busy at a time where it wouldn't normally look busy. This was a table of 15 people. So quite often when people walk past a cafe, they go, oh, there's quite a few people in there for 9:30 in the morning. That must be a good place to go. So I wanted to keep them in the cafe. I wanted to keep it full. It was a compromise. They weren't going elsewhere. I wasn't really making that much money off it, but I wasn't losing money either. So it was a compromise. So that was a package that I kind of did up for them. So when you're selling a package, it's even more important that you demonstrate the value that your client is getting rather than just the price. So here's some of the top rated values that customers see. Okay, so when we spoke about asking that customer, what they like reliability. They like guarantees, professionalism, convenience, dependability, speed, quality, knowledge, and trust. They're really key things for a lot of customers, whether it's a service-based business or a product-based business. Sean, with your business, if you were to book a customer to, maybe they're doing a renovation, if you were to book a customer to paint for a renovation that maybe somebody has done, normally people are like, oh, I'm booking the kitchen guy in here, the tiler's coming here, and the painter's coming here. If you weren't reliable and you didn't turn up, that's going to be a big deal for them. They've allocated 4 weeks to do this renovation. They're taking the last 2 weeks off work. I need the painter to be in and be out, and you don't turn up on the first day. That's a really important thing for a majority of customers, is reliability. Guarantees, yes, I think with guarantees will help you get the product over the line. And I'll give you an example. We've just recently had our roof painted. And with that, my husband decided to choose the business that gave the longest guarantee. So we went with, there was one company who came out and said they would guarantee that there would be no issues with the roof in terms of the painting of it for 2 years. We ended up paying more, and we ended up paying a lot more to go with a company that gave a 10-year guarantee. If anything happens in the next 10 years with the painting of that roof or with the job that they have done in terms of the pointing and everything else that was involved, then that job would be guaranteed, that they would come back and fix it at no charge to us. That was important to my husband. So a guarantee can help you get the business over the line if you're very confident with your services. You know, in terms of you, Sean, you might say, I guarantee that with general wear and tear, you will not have to paint your lounge room again for another 10 years. We use really quality paint. We use a wipe and clean, so it's easy to keep clean. I guarantee you, if you use that product and you get this service, you won't have to paint for another 10 years. So that could be a guarantee that you could use. Professionalism, definitely needed in most businesses. Convenience, make it convenient and easy for your customer to buy, okay? Don't make it difficult. Being dependable, a little bit along comes with reliability, doesn't it? Speed is important, yes, but they also want a good job. They want the quality as well. So they want it to be done fast, but they don't want you to compromise on the quality. They'll pay for knowledge. You know, my business is a knowledge-based business. People pay me for my knowledge and what I know. So people will pay more for someone who is more knowledgeable. And trust. Trust is a massive factor. Having the opportunity to meet with clients all the time and build up that level of trust. This is one of the questions that people ask me, you know, how do I build up that level of trust so quickly? What's key for me is just being genuine about who I am and what services that we offer. That is key to be able to get that trust up and not disappointing the client, you know, making sure that if you make a mistake, happens in my business all the time. We use a lot of technology, and technology can be finicky. Sometimes it works and sometimes it doesn't. You know, we've had emails drop out and not go out, but admitting the mistakes, apologizing for it and rectifying it straight away is key to building the trust with our clients. And so that should be key in the majority of businesses also. So we're back to this whole 3-tiered kind of process. Okay, so we've got a lower price point product, which allows a client who has a lower budget to work with you, or will maybe be the clincher for somebody that hasn't used your services before. So Sean, as an example for you, if you were talking about the painting of a lounge room, maybe you have 3 different levels of paint that you offer. I know some painters work differently to others. Some painters include the paint in their job, others it's on top of. So it really would just depend what you were offering. But let's say it was a lower quality paint at the first level, it was a medium quality paint at the second level, and it was a high quality of paint at the third level. Or maybe, you know, the lower price is just the walls with 1 coat. We know we can get away with this in some investment properties that we're wanting to quickly put on the market. Maybe the medium price is the walls and the ceilings and the architraves, 1 coat. And maybe the high price point is everything in a double coat, high quality paint. So there's some examples of the lower, medium, and high price point that you could use. When it comes to what pricing you should put on your offers, I want you to start with profit first. Now, guys, I'm really conscious we've got 10 minutes left. I do apologize if I go 5 minutes over, but I just want to get this information out to you. Many business owners will say, well, I priced it like this because the guy down the road did it for that price. And I had this just recently in a cafe. We sat down as part of our services. We were actually building a website for them. And having been in the cafe world, when I looked at their prices, I was like, how can you possibly do a breakfast that cheap? Like, I was charging more than that 11 years ago. So there has to be an issue with your pricing that we need to look at as well. So I said, where did you get these prices from? And they said, well, the cafe down the road has those prices. So I decided I'd go and visit the cafe down the road and have a little bit of a chat to them. Turns out the cafe down the road was actually going broke. They were coming to the end of their lease. They'd been there for a very long time. They hadn't risen their prices enough in the 10 years that they'd been there. And so they were actually going broke. They weren't signing a new lease. And he was basically selling everything as cheap as he could. And the cafe up the road was frustrated, saying, I keep lowering their prices to keep up with them. You're just trying to beat someone to the bottom. Do not base your pricing on what somebody else is offering. Find your unique selling point and always put profit first. Don't want to see business owners losing money. You also need to remember that, here's this picture again, also remember that your time is money. Okay, if you're not paying yourself a wage, sorry, I clicked a little bit too quickly there. If you're not paying yourself a wage, you know, you wouldn't have a staff member come and work for you for nothing. Their time is money. Your time needs to be money too. And I see business owners all the time going, oh, it didn't cost me anything but my time. It cost you your time. You can't get that back. Your time is money. It is worth something. So when you go through and you're looking at what you're going to charge for your pricing, you need to make sure that you include all of your time. For example, if you have a massage and it's a 1 hour massage, yes, there's the 1 hour that you're doing the massage, absolutely. But there may also be 15 minutes of prep time either side of that. You know, maybe for getting the towels set up or getting the oil ready or, you know, whatever it is that you do. You should know every single little costing. I just had a little bit of a giggle there because I've got some notes written down here. When I had my cafe, I could tell you the price of a slice of bread, an egg, a rasher of bacon, everything. And I would sit there and I go, oh, I think we might have a bacon and egg burger. Oh, the bread's going to be this, the egg's going to be that, that's going to be that. Okay, that's going to cost me that. It'll probably take a staff member 20 minutes to do it. I need to add 5% on for my electricity. So I can't charge anything less than X for a bacon and egg burger. And my staff and my management would look at me and go, oh my goodness, how did you figure out that so quickly? But I knew every single thing and what it cost. And that's how you need to be with your business. You need to know every single cost that is involved down to the electricity. When you're working out what to charge for your time, you can simply look up the hourly rate of somebody that you would be paying if you wanted to, or decide as a business owner that with your expertise, you're worth $50 an hour and that's what you're going to run with. And I'm going to give you some example. It's not the end of the formula just to simply know how much you're going to charge per hour and how much the services is going to cost. And I just want to run through my little profit formula that I have, because a lot of people do the whole break even thing and then wonder why they're getting into trouble. So if you're going to be making your products and services, you need to look at the time that it is going to take to actually perform that service, and whether that is by you or by a staff member, the costs that are involved. And then when you add those two together, that is your break even point, not your profit point. So this is where I see a lot of businesses make the mistake, because they go, well, it's going to take me an hour to do it, and I'm going to use about $50 worth of product. I'm charging myself out at $50 an hour, so it has to be $100. But in that case, you're not making a profit. You're just breaking even. If something happens to you and you have to pay somebody else to do your job, you'll just have a business that breaks even. And that's not what we want, do we? We want to make sure that we're making a profit. So you need to add your time and your costs, and then you need to decide on your profit margin so that you can have a profit. So you'll notice up here on the screen, I've got time plus costs plus profit percentage equals profit. This is where I start to lose some people, because it is very numbers. And if you're not numbers focused, you may find this session, this little part of the session difficult, but please stay with me and try and follow along. I'm going to use the example today of massage because I found that very easy. So just from a point of finding something. So I've got here that my time plus my costs equals break even and not profit. Okay. So I've estimated that it's going to take me 1 hour and 25 minutes. So that's 1.25 hours at $50 an hour is what I'm charging myself out at. But I know there's massage people out there who charge a lot more than $50 an hour. This is just my example. And then I'm going to add $10 for my costs, because that's how much it costs me for the oil and the washing of the towels and, you know, whatever that is. So my break even, or my non-profit, not profit, my break even cost is $72.50 for every massage that I do. Okay. So I then need to think about, well, what kind of profit margin would I like to make on that? What kind of percentage? In the case of this example, I have actually chosen 8%. So 8% is going to be my profit margin that I would like to add. So you can see here in the green, we've got our new calculation. So we've got an hour and a half at $50 an hour plus our $10 costs. That's for the oil and the washing of the sheets and whatever it is that you're doing. And we're going to add an 8% profit margin. So it's a $5.80 profit margin. I know that these figures are really low, but I wanted to make sure I kept it simple for you guys. So my lowest price point that I can actually add, that I can actually sell my massages for, is $80. That is my lowest price point. Now, you might be wondering, why did I add the $1.70? I always like to round up. So it's time plus cost plus profit plus a round up. That equals profit. The roundup just gives me a little bit of extra fat in there. Okay, so this one obviously came to what, $78.30, and I've rounded it up to 80. So I always round up to the next figure. So you'll notice with our tiered pricing, we spoke about this massage tiered pricing before as an example, but you'll notice that my 10 massages for $800, that's $80 per massage. And my lowest price point is $80 per massage. I can't go below 80, otherwise I'm not going to be making a profit. This is really, what's really handy to know all this stuff about all of your products and services is that when it comes time to you having a sale, an end of financial year sale, end of calendar year sale, Valentine's Day sale, Black Friday sale, you just simply know you can't go below $80 because you don't make any money and you don't want to be going to work for nothing. So you just know that that is your price point to start out at. So my lowest price point is at the 10 massages for $800. And so all of the other tiers that I have go up from there. So we've got the 5 massages for $450, and then we've got the 1 massage for $99. So we want the cheapest option to actually be the most expensive. Does that make sense? I got to outlay $800 to get those 10 massages. But if you deal with a whole heap of customers that only want one massage, then you're going to make more money. I get that. But the $800 package at 10 massages is going to get you a little bit of surety in terms of the future. Does anybody have any questions on that? I know when it comes to the numbers, that's where I normally lose people. There is actually a book, I'm pretty sure it's called Profit First, and it talks about this subject. I'm sure it's called Profit First. So look that up, Profit First, it's a book. It talks about paying yourself first, having a profit first. What a lot of people do is they have the money that comes in from the business and they take out electricity and they take out all of this stuff, and then what's left is profit. But this book talks about paying yourself first, making sure that your time and your money is being calculated for in your business. If you get to the end of that month and you haven't made any money, then you need to work a little bit harder. So does anybody have any questions on that or any part of today's presentation? Because we've got some time to actually have some questions. Sean, I hope I gave you some good examples there of what sort of pricing and packaging that you could set up. When I think about painting, I used to be a real estate agent. So you would be aware possibly people just want to paint walls in an investment property in the same color that's already there to give it a quick flick of paint, either in between tenants moving in and out, or possibly to put the property on the market. And then other times they want a complete paint. So there may be some options there for you to be able to. I can see Eve. Hi, Eve. Eve is actually working with me at the moment. So I know for you, Eve, there's an opportunity for you to set up multiple sessions for people. You know, if they have one session, it's X pricing, or if they have 3 sessions, then it's more. So they save money the more sessions that they buy. But think about that whole, the done for you, the do it yourself, the done with you, and the done for you options for your business as well, Eve. That might work well. We haven't discussed that yet, but if you're going to be running webinars, your webinars might be the do it yourself. Come along to the webinar and I'll give you some tools for going away and doing it yourself. Work with me a small amount in a group session, maybe, and we get this, and then work with me one-on-one and you get this. So some options there for you as well. So guys, as I said to you, these webinars and workshops I run every Wednesday, and they're actually brought to you by the federal government's Digital Solutions program. So I'm contracted to them. What's great about these sessions is you have a great offer at the moment. You can have 7 hours of mentorship with an expert just like me for $44. What that gets you, it gets you 3 one-on-one sessions. So an hour spent with me over Zoom digitally where we can, so that's 3 hours, 3 sessions at an hour each, where we can discuss your business, the problems that you're having and how we might be able to fix them. It may not necessarily be that you stick with the one advisor. It could very well be that we say, look, I recommend you have a session with this person. A really good example of that would be Dante St. James is an advisor that I always recommend to a lot of clients. He's an expert in Facebook ads. So if you're a business that's looking for Facebook ads, we would have a session together, we'd talk about it, and we can actually go through and say, hey, I'm going to put you in with Dante next, because I really think you want to get some Facebook ads out there. So here we go. We've got Selena saying $44 program is great and good for the one-on-one mentoring time. Absolutely. It is. It is invaluable for that price. So if you're interested in becoming part, obviously these workshops and webinars are free. We will do 3 hours of one-on-one session and we will guide you into workshops and webinars that we think you need to see. The great thing about the workshops and webinars is even if you can't be there, you get a copy of the recording, which is great. If you're interested in any of those, you can go to businessstation.com.au. It's one of the first things that you'll see on that homepage. If you're interested in booking with me directly, just put /Kerrie, that's Kerrie, and you can actually book a one-on-one session in with me directly. Our next free webinar, oh my goodness, I didn't put this information in. I'm just now madly trying to look around, but basically every Wednesday, this is not the right information that you are seeing on the screen now. So I will make sure that I get that information out to you guys in the form of an email, but every Wednesday is our webinars and workshops. And guys, that's the end. We've made it, packaging and pricing your services. I really hope that's given you, opened up your eyes a little bit as to how you might be able to move forward with your products and services. And also getting you to see that how putting things together not only benefits you as a business, but also benefits your customers, because I know a lot of small business owners don't like the whole money grab thing. If you can come to our next webinar or workshop next Wednesday, 10 a.m. Queensland time is when we run them. For those of you who are possibly in the flood zone at the moment, I hope you are all well. And thank you for taking the time to join me. I know everything's kind of happening around us today still, being close to that Logan River, but I also know further south is copping it in northern New South Wales as well at the moment. So stay safe, everybody. Hopefully see you all next Wednesday, and a copy of this recording will be coming out in the next 48 hours or so. Thanks for joining me today, guys. Enjoy your day, and I'll talk to you all soon.